Thanks, Riv. Gentlemen, we're going to Game 5.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm so excited. But we have to break down Game 4. And one of the things I want to touch on is TSM's ability to mid-series adapt. It's something that they've shown historically. They've always been a great team at it, and even with a new roster, they're still managing to do it. Their ability to adapt in the middle of the series, change up champion select, and find a way to get back into it is just astounding.
Yeah, both teams kind of had some adaptations here. We saw the Ryze ban in place of the Syndra, but that left it up for Bjergsen, who took that away second round there. And they went with the Lulu pick first for Dyrus in the top, and he won that lane flat out and caused a lot of pressure. So that was a great pickup there for them.
Yeah, I definitely think first picking Lulu was pretty genius. I honestly didn't even see that because I kind of forgot Lulu was a top champion. So when they did that, it kind of hurt LMQ's ban phase or pick phase. The second they picked Lulu, it goes, do we pick Syndra now? Well, if I Syndra ult something, they're just going to Lulu ult it. So it kind of, I think, persuaded LMQ from not picking Syndra, and then TSM took it the next rotation, and in my opinion, they won pick ban phase off of that.
And let's isolate the top lane. You already mentioned the Lulu, but I feel like so much of this matchup hinges there on the top lane because we watched the mid laners duking it out. They're pretty even the whole time. We saw Dyrus forced onto Mundo earlier. He lost because he couldn't quite make plays. You get behind, you get bullied, and that's what Ackerman's great at. Now we watch TSM flip the table on him. You force Ackerman onto Mundo, and Dyrus is able to bully him out and make him ineffective.
Yeah, it also brought the jungler up there a lot. We saw a ton of escapes there by Dyrus, where he just whimsied himself, runs away, over and over and over again. And then they just got ahead, and then they started focusing later on in the game, and then Bjergsen was getting assists in the mid, and they spilled that over. So I really like that play. They kind of sacrificed the bot lane for a bit, but it worked out for them because there wasn't a huge amount of pressure.
I mean, something that's been subtle in all these games is whatever team has the bigger playmaker top has won. And in this game, LMQ banned out the Ryze, and TSM banned out the Maokai, and the next playmaking top is Lulu. Mundo is not going to make a big play He's not a big playmaker unless he's like gigantic. So taking the Lulu away, it helps the mid lane for the Syndra pick, and then it also keeps Ackerman away from doing anything but walking up and throwing a cleaver at you. So
let's jump into a replay 17 minutes in because there's still a lot to talk about, but I want to get into the actual gameplay. 17 minutes in around the Dragon Pit. This is a replay that showcases how far ahead TSM was. Prolly, I'm going to let you take this one. Walk us through it.
So this was really interesting. It looked like LMQ wants to defend the Dragon, but they're not fully grouped yet. So Bjergsen's able to start off the fight by getting good poke down. And I think right now Amazing kind of overextends a bit, not realizing how far his team is. And so right now it seems a little weak. TSM is honestly at a health disadvantage, but they're able to collapse on Mundo, and then LMQ just funnels into that little choke point, and Bjergsen gets a 3-man stun while blowing up the Mundo. And at this point, they're just able to turn the fight and start chasing down. And the best part is this beautiful flash Nami bubble. Boom, gets 4 people, and Yasuo follows up. The only thing that stopped that from turning it around was the exhaust on Yasuo. If they didn't have exhaust for that, I think that would have been a 3v5 turnaround, and LMQ would have came out on top.
And that's that playmaking potential that we see on Zhao, but the Mundo being relatively ineffective on that TP, whereas when the Lulu came in, had that ultimate to keep Kha'Zix alive there, which really let them secure that fight, take the Dragon, and just push that lead further.
Yeah, it was really the Syndra stun on 3 people that allowed them to blow up Mundo and made it a bad TP. Otherwise, it would have been great.
At this point, too, in the game, I want to look at another part of LMQ's team comp, which is the distinct lack of wave clear, right? Because they chose a pretty decent, Corki early in the lane. They were punishing a bit, but when you get behind like that, when the Lulu's bullying your Mundo around and the Syndra's big, there's no way for them to defend turrets at this point.
Yeah, they kind of had to just use Windwall and look for a team fight. And that's what the composition was looking for there. It was just an all-out team fight, hoping Xiao can pick it up for them.
But in that situation, would it be better, right, to have a little bit of it? Because there's no real AD carries that can do it. You decided to go for that Mundo in the top lane. Is it time to now kind of move away from the Yasuo and say, all right, if we're going to give up the Syndra by banning out the Ryze, we need to put you on a wave clear champion in case we get behind early?
I think Corki supplements the wave clear a bit. But obviously in that game, they were able to break the base pretty quickly with Syndra stuns and stuff like that. So between Windwall and Corki's wave clear, it just wasn't enough. And the second they lost mid-inhib, at that point, they definitely don't have enough wave clear. If they were able to stop the base from being cracked, I think Corki could kind of extend it. But the second the base was cracked, it was very obvious they didn't have enough wave clear for it. And at that point, it was just, TSM could just win the game. And that's when you saw LMQ doing that kind of sneaky engage from the left side. because they knew if TSM got in position to start sieging, they wouldn't be able to stop it.
And Zyrene, you pointed out that because of their lack of wave clear, in those times they needed to look for the team fights. So we're actually going to pull up another replay because we have to look at this. The pentakill from Zhao. And although it wasn't enough to turn the game, it is pretty spectacular. I'll let you take this one away.
All right, so the last replay we saw, there was an exhaust that came down. It's not up this time, so we'll start rolling the clip out here. We see No Name try to go for an insect play here. He actually gets stunned up mid-transition to that ward. He gets blown up. And then LMQ, they try to disengage this, they try to get back. Lustboy uses his ultimate to stop Ackerman. And now Ackerman is the main target, and they actually don't peel off of him. He pops his ultimate here, and he soaks. He peels towards Xiao. They funnel in, 3-man ultimate here, no exhaust available, and he starts just wreaking havoc. Bjergsen, no damage out of him here. Wild Turtle hits him off the side, and they're still trying to focus down Ackerman, who has that ultimate on him, regenning his HP. Lustboy, he's still tunneling in on that too, and now Xiao gets to run around. Bjergsen, he missed that stun. Right here, he's going to try to get away, but even before the ultimate came off, Bjergsen almost hit him with a stun again. So Bjergsen missed about 2 to 3 stuns there after hitting the first one, and that last kill there was off of the Bilgewater active.
I love that. You know that too is that moment in the fight where you're like, oh wait, I never used my active. Good thing he's sitting at 100 health.
Yeah.
An interesting little factoid there for everyone at home. That pentakill is the first pentakill in the LCS where the team did not win as a result of it or following that pentakill. So now across NA and EU LCS, we are 4-1 for teams that have pentakills and their win-loss record, which is kind of interesting.
It's a really sad bit of trivia, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to be part of that pentakill.
All right, well, now we move into Game 5. So the all-important question, I'm going to throw it to you guys. I want you to pick a winner. Coming out of that game, TSM looks strong. They've made some great mid-series adaptations. Is it enough for them to come in third game and break that trend of blue side winning?
I'm going to have to go with LMQ on this one. I think that the fact that they're going to be blue side again, and they banned Ryze last time, so they get themselves to ban out the Syndra once again, so Bjergsen won't have that champion, and then that puts it on TSM to really make an adaptation in this series. So I think I'm going to have to go with LMQ here.
Prolly?
I'm just here to piss off Zyrene. So I'm going to go with TSM. I think they got it. I do think blue side's really advantageous in this matchup just because of the top laners. They need a playmaker, and then mid lane, you got to ban out Zed, you got to get Syndra. So I think TSM has an advantage because they just, boom, they won that last game, and they're ready to just go hard for the next and close it out.
And blue side has won every game so far in the series, so we'll see if TSM is able to break that trend. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, it's on to Game 5 between LMQ and TSM with the entire series on the line. And coming up, Curse and Cloud9 will get their spot on the Rift. Already the teams are gearing up. We see High here squeezing in a little practice time while Balls watches TSM and LMQ from the sidelines. And of course, Sneaky doing a quick equipment check. Then over in Curse's locker room, Cop and Xpecial getting warmed up for their semifinals. We'll be right back with more of our NALCS coverage in just a bit.